Welcome ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to take a look at the Magicka Nightblade healer build for the Summerset chapter. I do have a written guide on my website, link in the description below. Nightblade healers are quite strong this update. They have a lot of healing per second output compared to other setups. Thanks to passives, so we to regeneration passives, so we can invest more into max Magicka and spell damage and so on. When we look at our stats, they have pretty nice resistance, for almost 40k max Magicka, Magicka recovery is more than enough, and we also have 18k health. I'm running the Mage Mundus Stone. I like to run this just to get more max resources, which means we can basically sustain longer without running to zero, which is basically impossible anyway, but just nice to have. Usually on other healer setups I run the Atronach. If you think you don't have enough sustain, you could run the Atronach. Also, if you want, you could also run the Ritual. However, I do like the max resources more. The Ritual will give you a little bit more healing output, but the difference is so small, I do think you're better off with the Mage, because it will be easier to sustain. Buff food wise, you want the Witchmother's Potent Brew, simply the best one. If you want, you can use Clockwork Citrus Fillet, so basically a little bit better version, but very expensive. Spell Power Potions are our pots. They give you Major Sorcery, Prophecy, and they also restore Magicka. In terms of race, there's basically 3 races I can recommend. You can play with any race, but High Elf, Argonians, Bretons are usually the best healer races. I prefer High Elf because it gives me more Magicka recovery and 10% max Magicka. And if I want to swap to a damage dealer setup, I still get nice damage passives. If you want, you could be a vampire, but I do not recommend it because you will take a lot of extra fire damage. Please make sure to not forget to subscribe, more videos in the future. So in terms of gear setup, I do have several gear setups on my website and I showcase the most important sets for healers. There is a lot of really good things around, so this is just one option that you have. With the change to staves, that they count as 2 bonus, we can now run 2 5-piece sets and a monster set, which is really nice. Now when we look at the first set, this one drops in the Cloud Rest mini trial. This is the new best healer set, hands down by miles. What does it do? Casting ground-based abilities in combat will create a circle of might on the ground for 10 seconds. You and your allies standing in the circle gain major courage for 42 seconds, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 258. Spell Power Cure was usually the go-to set since Imperial City. Jesus Christ. That's like 2-3 years, I guess. So it's about time that there is a new healer set. Now, what's the difference? Basically, as long as you don't have Olorim, yes, use Spell Power Cure. But now, as you can see, first off, Spell Power Cure, the player needs to be at 100% health, the friendly target. You only have a 50% chance to get Major Courage off. And it only holds for 14 seconds with your rules, without, I think it's 10. And on top of that, Spell Power Cure has a cap of 6 targets. Olorim has a cap of 12 targets. And you can see the buff holds for 42 seconds. Without your rules, it's 30 seconds. So previously, Spell Power Cure had to be worn on both healers in a trial to get a 60 to 70% uptime. Olorim needs to be worn on one healer to get the 90 to 100% uptime. That's why this set is by miles better, and when you look at it, it's a circle, you can't miss it. Now I don't have the buff, I walk in it, I get the Major Courage. And that's why you see we also have really nice spell damage as long as this is up. And the thing is, now it's here, the moment I move out, it goes away, right? But it holds for 42 seconds, or without your rules 30. So, if your group has to move to a new position, it doesn't matter. You simply can reapply it again. People will have it. It's so easy to keep up, like 90% plus uptime on this buff, it's insane. So you really want to make sure to go get it. The difference between perfect and imperfect is very small. You can get the imperfect version in normal Cloud Rest, which is pretty easy to do. Only difference there is, you will have one max Magicka bonus less on the 5-piece there. That's not there, the max Magicka. But everything else, the 42 seconds, the 258 spell damage, weapon damage, it's all there. That's the first set, and now the second set, we use your rules again. The second set is kind of a choice. You can run Mending, Sanctuary, Kagrenak, whatever you want. Here. Your rules is nice. Like I said, it buffs Olorim to 42 seconds. And on top of that, another main reason why we use it is because of the aggressive Warhorn. The major force increasing your critical damage by 15% for 13 seconds. Usually that's 9.5, and with your rules it goes up to 13 seconds. That doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, if you have a lot of damage per second, this makes a huge difference. And on a Nightblade it's nice because you will get ultimate faster than on other setups because of the Catalyst passive. When you drink a pot you gain 20 ultimate. And if you chose to run an ability like the Soul Harvest on the front bar somewhere, while slotted anytime you kill an enemy, you gain 10 ultimate points, so you could get even more. But I have Bolstering Darkness there at the moment. I will get to that in a moment. That's your rules. Really nice set. Now, you want spell damage here full. If you still have sustain issues, if you don't want to use potions or whatsoever, you could run a spell cost reduction or another recovery. That's for you to decide. On the big pieces, you want to run Infused. And on the small pieces, Magicka. So here we have 5 light, then 1 medium, 1 heavy. Now that staves count as 2 bonus, we can finally run 2 5-piece sets and a monster set, which means we can have a medium and a heavy piece, benefiting more from the Undaunted here. So we get 6% more max resources. The last set, Earthgore. So as a healer, you basically have 2 really good choices. Earthgore and Nightflame, both are really nice. Earthgore has a really long cooldown, but as you can see, it heals for so much. 40k health over 6 seconds as soon as somebody drops below 50% health. So this is really, really nice. Other than that, yeah, Tri-stat enchants on the big pieces. That's what I forgot to say, I think, yeah. Weapons, you want the restoration stuff on the front bar, obviously. Power, so it increases healing down. And absorb magic, so your sustain will be a little bit better. Back bar, lightning staff charged with shock enchant. Why? Because we use blockade of shock on the back bar. The moment the blockade hits, shock enchant will apply and activate the concussion status effect, which increases the damage on the enemy by 8%. With a charged rate, increases chance to apply status effect by 220%. And then from the destruction stuff, where are you? Here, it's another 100%. So you get like almost, I think, between 80 to 90% chance to actually apply the status effect. That's why this is really nice. Champion points. 23, 18, 9, 37, 15, 73, 75. Those 2 are the most important, so focus on those 2 first if you're not max CP. I do have a 300 CP setup on my website as well, for those that are not max CP. Why those 2? 14% increased healing done and increased healing crits. That's why those are the most important. 46, 10, 75, 75. Now those here are the most important ones. You want a lot of Magicka recovery and tenacity, 14% extra heavy attack restore. If you do a heavy attack with a rest of stuff, you will get another 30% Magicka. That's why this is so strong. When we just quickly look at my Magicka, when I do a heavy attack, it goes up so much. Just the rest of stuff and the CP things synergize so well together. 44 Warlord. Here 49, 49, 48, 81, 23. This is pretty standard setup. If you want a trial specific champion points, red champion points loadout, article on my website. Passives, you want all the class passives, destruction stuff, restoration stuff, light armor, heavy armor, juggernaut to get 2% more max health, because we have one heavy armor piece. Here you could use them, but you don't necessarily need them. Fighter's Guild, banish the wicked, 9%, 9 ulti gen when you kill an undead or Daedra. Mage's Guild, not mandatory because we don't really have an ability here. Unless you want to use Inner Light. We'll get to that in a second. Then it's nice, but also not a must-have. Psychic Order, optional. We don't use any abilities. You could use Mend Wounds, but not necessary. Undaunted. Racial passives. Alchemy, medicinal use, very important. So you get longer potion effects. In terms of abilities, there is a few things that you could swap out, but let me just explain. Healing Ward, very strong shield ability. The lower the player's health that you actually apply the shield to, the bigger the shield will get. That's really nice. And when the shield expires, it also heals. Combat Prayer applies minor berserk on on your group players, 8% increased damage for them. So this needs to be kept up 100%. It's pretty long, you see, 20 meters. So it's pretty easy to actually hit players with that. Healing Springs, your main ability that you want to keep on the targets all the time. And as you can see, you kinda can play several circles if you're fast enough. Yeah, whatever. It also restores Magicka whenever you hit targets. It has only a 3-second duration, keep that in mind, but yeah, very, very important. Funnel Health, now this is quite an interesting ability for a Nightblade that others don't have access to, obviously. So when you see, steal an enemy's life force, dealing 6k magic damage and healing you and one other nearby ally for 32% of the damage inflicted. Because we have so nice stats, like when everything is up, buffs and that stuff, it actually deals quite a bit of damage. You can actually quickly check. How our healing numbers are. Let's just keep going. Healthy Offering, this is a very special ability. It costs health, keep that in mind. So sacrifice your essence healing an ally in front of you for 14k health. This can obviously crit. It basically crit for almost 30k if you really wanted to. Now when we look at the healing Springs crits, quite nice ticks. Funnel Health, 4k crits. It's not that strong, but if you keep weaving this and your group members don't take a lot of damage, it can be enough healing, and you can deal damage. Combat Prayer, really nice. Healing Ward, Puff, Energy Orb, and so on. Obviously Healthy Offering proc because we were... I don't think it works on yourself. No. You need to actually hit the target. This is a very nice burst heal. You just need to be... You need to get used to how to place it on your player, because it doesn't have a mark thingy. Then also, while your health is being drained, you gain minor mending, increasing your healing down by 8%. So that's another cool thing. But again, if you don't like this ability, if you think it's too dangerous to use up health, you could run Inner Light, you even gain more Max Magicka. But I actually do think it's a nice burst heal, so I would recommend learning to play with it. Ultimate Bolstering Darkness. Now, whenever you can, use the horn, but in certain situations, this can be nice. So this got kind of changed a little bit. What does it do? It applies major protection while inside the ring, and even after leaving it, reducing your damage taken by 30%. If I remember correctly, it still applies another additional 30% damage mitigation to you, even though it doesn't say it. I'm actually not 100% sure anymore. Anyway, 30% major protection is more than enough anyway. And the thing with this is, so when we place this, looks like this, and we walk in, like we already have it, and as long, even when we go outside, the major protection stays on you till this goes away. You'll see the moment it disappears, this goes away, and it's gone. This is also really nice more for PvP actually, because the ultimate holds for 16 seconds. 16 seconds major protection. Jesus Christ. That's a lot. And even in PvE, when you have really high, like a lot of incoming damage, this can be very helpful. Back bar, refreshing puff, another heal over time. And it also deals damage. Blockade of Storms. Once again, to apply the concussion with the shock enchant. Also, when we keep this on the enemy, minor Magicka Steel will keep proccing, so we have better sustain. Elemental Drain applies Major Breach and minor Magicka Steel, so that's a it needs to be up on the target 100%. Energy Orb. As you can see, this heals for quite a bit, and actually an ally near the globe can activate the healing combustion signature, causing the orb to explode and heal for 7k health to all friendly targets and restore 4k Magicka or stamina. This is really, really strong. Siphoning attacks, this also helps with sustain. So you see, every time we basically do a light or a heavy attack, we get Magicka back. And you, if you can, always weave a light attack. And at the end, once it runs out, it gives 4k Magicka. If you reapply it before it runs out, you will not get the 4k Magicka at the end. Very important. So you need to let it run out. Then once again, the aggressive Warhorn. Those are just a few options. If you want, you can run Sap Essence. This also heals while you deal damage. Like I previously mentioned, Soul Harvest, you could slot it here if you want to get a little bit faster ultimate generation. Just all those kind of things. There's a lot of good things about this setup that you can utilize to your advantage if you really want to. If you have any questions about the build, ask me in the comment section below. Make sure to not forget to subscribe and hit the juicy like button. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.